Oh.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday, the Friday Sturgeon Spearing Eve. For those of you out there who are celebrating, we're taking a live look at Lake Winnebago. As you can see, already plenty of shanties and vehicles, people out on the ice. They are prepared for what is expected to be a extremely busy weekend, one that is always very exciting here in Wisconsin, one that they would be liking to see some cooler temperatures in the forecast, but they're gonna make do with what they can. It's been a very cold winter so far. A lot of ice has been made, and the hope for those spearers, Steve, is that that ice is gonna hold on. Of course, it's been a very cold winter, but the cold temperature is really going to have an upswing here, as we're expecting 50s over the next 7 days or so. So really going to be some ever-changing conditions out there on the ice, right?
Yeah, that's, I think, the thing that we're trying to really get out to people is that right now ice conditions are good on Lake Winnebago and the chain of lakes upstream, but conditions might start changing over the weekend as we get highs in the 40s and perhaps even some 50s, especially as we go into early next week. And so conditions can change. Kristen Allen, who went live this morning, you remember Emerson, she spoke with a gentleman who's got a bar out in the middle of this frozen lake, and he was saying the ice thickness is up to 2 feet. That's fantastic, but we can't assume that it's like that everywhere on Lake Winnebago, especially in some of the shallow areas where I'm sure the ice is quite a bit thinner. And so we definitely want people to take it easy as that ice thickness diminishes and dwindles as we go into the weekend. Here is that sturgeon spearing forecast. We might have some freezing fog Saturday morning, but otherwise I think you'll get some sunshine, and then temperatures just begin to take off. We'll be up to 43 for a high on Saturday, 46 on Sunday. One thing that's really nice is that the wind is not going to be all that strong this weekend. On the light side, I'd be more worried if we were adding these temperatures with some gusty winds. Because then that tends to kind of push the ice sheets around a little bit if they were to break apart. There is an outside chance of maybe an ice flow somewhere on the waters of Green Bay today. Today's winds are going to be stronger, but the weekend winds will not be as much of a big deal. And Aisha Morales has been talking a lot about this in the First Alert Safety Desk about the ice thickness. I mean, you need to have a good foot or more for your truck to go out on the ice. Once that ice thickness dwindles down to about 3 inches or less, then it is absolutely not safe to walk on, and that's something we want people to keep away from as that weather warms up. Now, not so much on lakes, but creeks and streams and rivers this weekend, but especially early next week, may start to experience some ice jamming. And what happens is the thawing ice breaks free and flows downstream, and then chunks of the ice collect and build up like a dam. And then the water behind those chunks of ice begins to back up and tends to push up over the banks. The next thing you know, you've got some flooding in some low-lying spots. And I don't think this is going to be a widespread problem moving forward, but it is possible here and there, especially creeks and streams, some rivers, as we go into early next week. There's that bird's eye view looking out towards Lake Winnebago. You can see some of the shanties out there, a couple of the trucks. People are getting ready. People are getting excited. 26 degrees, wind chill 15. We have a southwest wind at 13 miles an hour. Yeah, we're in the 20s in most spots, and that sounds cold. But compared to this time yesterday, a lot of us have warmed up about 5 to 15 degrees in the past day. Even warmer climbs, bigger climbs in the temperature across portions of north central Wisconsin. With the warmer weather, there may be a couple slick spots out there if you're traveling this morning because of any melting, snow, refreezing overnight into some patchy ice. Be especially careful on lesser traveled roads and any sidewalks or driveways or parking lots that could have a little thin glaze of ice underneath your feet. But otherwise, your severe weather outlook is very low. Mild but brisk southwest winds will be pushing your highs up into the low 40s this afternoon, a high of 43 in Green Bay. Other than a few passing clouds across the north, we're going to see lots of golden sunshine. And today is the day where we push into our next weather maker. We've been giving these first alert updates on this February thaw that's building into the weekend. That's going to be melting a lot of snow and deteriorating the ice conditions. This is our temperature trend. Today, tomorrow, Sunday, our high temperatures will be in the 40s. We could even see some 50s on Monday, which is President's Day. And today and tomorrow in particular, our record high temperatures are low enough where we could be in striking distance. I think we'll probably fall just shy of 45 and 47 today and tomorrow respectively, but it'll be close and definitely it's noteworthy. Right now, we're in the 20s across Wisconsin, but we've got milder 30s and some 40s south and west, and that milder air is flowing in our direction because of the clockwise flow around high pressure. That high pressure system is anchored in the Ohio Valley, and that southwest wind is going to give our temperatures quite a boost. So here's First Alert Pinpoint Predictor with a flock of 40s this afternoon, a high of 45 in Pembine and Lakewood, 47 in Wautoma, 44 for a high temperature in Manitowoc and Sheboygan. These high temperatures will be, about 15 degrees warmer than average for this time of February, and so definitely a little preview of spring, if you will, even though winter's by far not done yet. Even though we're going to get in the 40s this afternoon, it will really feel like the 30s as that west to southwest wind around 10 to 15 miles an hour blows your body heat away from you. So make sure you're still bundled up if you're going on out. Now, there's a few passing clouds across the north this morning, but otherwise, the high-pressure system is giving us lots of bright sunshine. That's going to hang around through the afternoon, and I'm anticipating a fair sky this evening, but notice that Pinpoint Predictor paints that milky gray color on the map. Yeah, there might be some low clouds tonight, but I'm more worried about freezing fog developing, because the moisture from the melting snow is going to evaporate into the atmosphere, and then as the temperatures fall below freezing, not only can we see fog forming, but that moisture could stick and flash freeze to pavement, so you're having a hard time seeing where you're going early Saturday morning. You may have some icy roads out there, so if you have any travel plans to start the weekend, you want to make sure you're paying very close attention. That freezing fog should gradually fade away as we go through Saturday morning, and by midday visibility should be a lot better. With this warm and generally sunny weekend on the way, that snow on the ground is going to drip, drip, drip away. There shouldn't be very much left by the end of this weekend in the Fox Valley. By the end of Monday, President's Day, there might be just a couple inches of snow on the ground across the North Woods, where the snow depth is quite a bit thicker. So there's your First Alert Super 7-day forecast. Early spring-like through Monday, 40s and then 50s. We will have some sunshine. Clouds will begin to thicken up as we go into Tuesday, and that's when we kind of see the weather teeter-totter flip the other way. Winter weather is coming back the middle of next week, so don't put away your winter coats at all. I know that there's always somebody out there who feels the need to run around in this kind of mild weather wearing a t-shirt and shorts, but we're going to see our highs drop back into the 30s as we go towards the middle of next week. And not one, but two areas of low pressure coming through from Tuesday night through Thursday night will bring us a few rounds of wintry precipitation. This is First Alert Pinpoint Predictor showing you snow and then a wintry mix moving in. That's Wednesday morning, that's Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday night we get a break, and I think we're okay into Thursday morning, but then shortly after that, there's another round of wintry mixed precipitation. Now, this is how it looks right now on Pinpoint Predictor, but truth be told, there's still a lot of time between now and then for the variables to change. The timing of these areas of low pressure, how warm or cold the air is ahead of it, what is the exact storm track, and so at this point it's just too soon for us to say how much snow we're going to get and how much of it is going to be rain or ice, but the bottom line is that the weather looks rather unsettled towards the middle of next week, and it definitely bears a lot of watching, and we will give you First Alert updates as we get closer and closer to what's going on. So stay tuned with our forecast, even though you're going to be so tempted to run outside in this mild and sunny weather this weekend.
Our producer, Garrett, Steve,
Yep.
He walked out, and I didn't notice it all morning, but as he left today, yeah, he was wearing shorts. So
He's one of those guys, huh?
He's already buckled up, ready for it. Hey, you mentioned Kristen Allen's story. I just want to show this real quick while you're still here. Discover Oshkosh made it out onto the lake already today. If I can get these pictures to come up, and it looks like they're not loading for me. So never mind. I'm not going to be able to share those right now, but I know that we are working them into Action 2 News mid-morning, and we'll have them at noon as well. So you can actually kind of see the setup that they've got out there. But they've got a van and just everything all set up, ready to go. So that'll be a unique experience for folks out there if they're looking for perhaps a beverage. And of course, as we say, we want people being safe and responsible on the ice. Drink
Yes.
responsibly as well if you're headed out there. But it was a cool story Kristen got to share this morning.
Yeah, with fun events like this for a lot of our outdoors people, it all comes with great responsibility. And so, yes, whether in regards to the weather, the ice thickness, how much you're consuming, responsibility is definitely advised. And I think if I remember correctly, Emerson, the guy who runs that bar out on the lake, he said there's like a limited edition T-shirt that people can get as well. Not that I'm trying to encourage more people to visit his business, because it's not my business to be involved with his business. But we want people to be safe and yet have a good time this weekend.
Absolutely. And hey, this is a good transition as well, because we're talking about Lake Winnebago. This week's Small Towns took us to Cheetah down near Fond du Lac on Lake Winnebago for the Steel Shoe Fund race. It's an annual tradition that takes place out there, and we like to share our small town stories here on these Friday morning live streams. So let's take a look. Steve, you have a great day.
You too, buddy.
On a frigid Sunday in small town Cheetah,
We have over 100 racers here.
the screams of two-stroke engines and the smell of racing fuel fills the air.
This is the largest race in the country. It's a benefit, once again, for the Steel Shoe Fund.
Racer turned organizer Joe Stoppelworth is proud to help make the Steel Shoe Fund race a reality each year.
Flat track racers put a steel shoe on their left foot. When they go through the corners, they put their foot down on the ground, and that steel shoe slides across the dirt. It is just such a great benefit for injured flat track racers. As we know, racing is a dangerous sport. People get hurt, expenses, and this way they can go to steelshoefund.org, apply for a benefit, and hopefully all works out great for them.
21-year-old rider Nick Johnson and his mom, Liz, understand the importance of the fund all too well.
My femur, collarbone, and T5 vertebrae in my back was broke. So then we reached out to these guys, and they paid for like most of my surgery bills and everything.
And whatever we can do to give back, game on.
5 years after the crash, Nick is ready to speed off into turn one, supporting the race that helped support him.
I'm just sitting there looking at everybody, and I'm like, all right, take a deep breath, and I pray on the line too, and then I just shut my mind off and just don't worry about anybody else, and I just look at the head at the first corner, and hopefully I make it out.
It's a way of life.
Hannah Lang is another racer who understands the significance. Her brother, Parker, killed in a flat track crash in 2024.
Really cool to give back to an organization that has helped us so much in the past and kind of live on his honor. The community like that really keeps us going.
One big racing family, always there to pick each other up.
It's so much work to put this on. My biggest excitement is seeing those racers show up to give back, and when I see over 100 motorcycles, 150 take off, I just stand back and go, isn't that a beautiful sight?
Reporting into Cheetah with photojournalist Shane Fitzsimmons,
Helping racers, helping racers.
I'm Emerson Lehman for Small Towns.
Such a fun story out there. It was great to meet Joe and Nick and Liz and Hannah and all the racers out there. A lot of great people. I'm a big race fan for those who don't know, so it was great to get out there. And hey, next week, it was great to get to Marinette to check out St. Thomas Aquinas Academy as they celebrate a huge anniversary, 150 years of Catholic education in the Marinette community. It was so much fun to chat with some of the students, some of the alumni, the faculty there. A lot of small town pride out there in Marinette. So make sure to tune in next week, Small Towns on Action 2 News at 6 for that full story there. And if you are headed out for some sturgeon spearing this weekend, make sure you're staying safe, having a great time out on the ice as we take another live look this morning from our Oshkosh Skycam as we can see Lake Winnebago, and you can see all the trucks moving around out there, pulling some more shanties and getting their spots ready, set to cut in today. They can start spearing at 7 o'clock Saturday morning, and that will last until March or the caps are met. So very exciting time down there on Lake Winnebago. Lots of folks going to be out and about along the lake trying to catch their big fish this weekend. So make sure to stay with us. We'll have all kinds of sturgeon season coverage throughout the day, the weekend, and throughout the season. Have a great Valentine's Day weekend, everybody, and we will see you next week.